Namaste, beloved. How are you? My name is Syma, and I am a spiritual and sacred feminine coach, healer, and best-selling author. And I'm so excited to share with you today some guidance and support on one of the most essential aspects of being a woman. This is all about awakening your inner high priestess, and we're so blessed as women to have access to the priestess. We are all priestesses, whether or not we know it. And I want to share with you what it really means to be a priestess today. And I will be sharing with you some specific goddess archetypes that you can connect with and awaken in order to feel more in touch with your priestess power. And in honor of this, as you can see, I'm wearing my priestess attire. And just to share with you, what this means on a really practical level is, for example, when I was setting up my table in the background for you for this video, I noticed there was just some marks on the table, so I wanted to wipe it and clean it. And the normal practical part of me, the day-to-day, is just like, okay, let's wipe down, the table. But the priestess within says, okay, but let's initiate this and bless it. So after I cleaned it, I got some essential oils and put them on a damp cloth, and I really intentionally and consciously blessed this cleaning for that table, that it may be blessed by the goddesses and that it brings beauty and abundance and blessings and joy and love and light, right, to you, to all. So that is what priestessing is. It's taking the mundane and making it sacred. So priestesses, we are, as women, by default priestesses. And why is that, right? If you're thinking, well, I've never felt connected to this, or I don't know what all this priestess business is. As women, we have wombs, we menstruate, and this is what ties us to the priestess path. It's our connection with the moon, the cyclical nature of the moon. So that's also why I'm wearing silver and white, in order to honor the moon. Priestesses are very in touch with, in tune with moon wisdom, moon mystery, sacred feminine. The moon actually always has been associated with the goddess and the priestess and the feminine and our menstrual cycles. That's one of the reasons, for example, the number 13 was considered lucky and sacred, because it honors the the number of moon cycles in a year, right? The lunar cycles, as well as typically, for women who menstruate regularly, every month, every 4 weeks, it was also the number of the goddess, 13 periods every year, 13 moon cycles. So the moon woman, so intricately connected, and it's unfortunate that with different religions and their agendas to diminish, oppress, demonize the sacred feminine, that Friday the 13th, for example, became known as an unlucky day, whereas from the goddess perspective, Friday is Frigg or Freya's day, Devi day, Venus's day, so it's the day of the goddess. And 13 is the sacred number of the goddess, or one of the sacred numbers. So Friday the 13th, for example, is a very sacred number to the priestess and to goddesses. And honestly, I could share so many videos about this. I have courses on this, on awakening your sacred feminine wisdom. I have a 6-month intensive high priestess initiation and training program, because we can go so in depth. But I really want to give you some valuable guidance and tips and tools and practices for today. So that's just a bit of an introduction. As the priestess, you are a priestess as a woman because of your natural cycles, because of your nature. And it doesn't matter if you menstruate regularly or not, or if you're in menopause. If you're in menopause, you actually are even more in tune with your priestess power, because now you have stepped into your wholeness, and you've been crowned into your cronehood, the years of your wisdom, and you can still be sexy and sexual and passionate and joyful and youthful, but the gift of being in that age and that time is that is married with your divine, sacred, feminine wisdom and power, right? So because you've learned so much in your life. So there's so much I can share with you. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? It's so important to me. You know why, my loves? Because you're my sisters, and I was raised in a very strict religious, Muslim, Pakistani, chauvinistic, patriarchal, abusive upbringing, where the feminine was completely oppressed, right? And so I had to fight many battles, internal with depressions and dark nights of the souls, which were my initiations into my priestess path, as well as many outer battles of fighting against patriarchy and culture, for basic rights as a woman, as a human, to not be forced into an arranged marriage, or to be able to pursue an education, to end a cycle of abuse. So I've had a really challenging, even traumatic path, an initiation into becoming a priestess. But what this has taught me is that if I can do it, anyone can do it. Because if you could be at the level where I was, of having such low or complete lack of self-respect, and be filled with so much self-loathing and disempowerment and a disconnect from my divine power and center, and if I, with divine grace, could come on this path and reconnect with it, then you can too. So that's why it is my sacred mission to empower you and fellow sisters in reclaiming your sacred feminine power and flourishing as priestesses and as goddesses. So now I would love to share with you some specific goddesses that represent the priestess path. I mean, in essence, all women and all goddesses, of course, represent the priestess in some way, but there are specific goddesses associated with the archetype of the priestess. So in the Celtic tradition, there are actually quite a few. So I'll try to show you all these cards. We have Brigit, Dana, and Morgan le Fay. So if you can see, they're beautiful cards here. They are all so magical, right? So they have their cauldrons, and they're creating magic and alchemy. And Dana is also crowned with her wisdom, and you can see that the throat chakra there is really open. So much happening right here. These goddesses remind you that as a priestess, you are a magician, and you can create alchemy and magic, right? So there's so many levels and layers to this. One, for example, with alchemy, is that alchemy is turning lead into gold. And so it's the process of transformation that we all go through. Like I just briefly shared with you my own journey, that lead was, who I thought I was on my journey, and the transmutation of that was, there's steps to it. There was first the blackening, which happens in alchemy, and this is the dark night of the soul, the really painful times, but it's a time of initiation as to healing and releasing all that's not true, all the hurt, all the pain, all the rage, all the anger, embracing all of that as natural and sacred, and yet also healing through that and rising and transcending beyond it. So that is that inner alchemy that we experience on our journeys. And then there's also the outer alchemy of manifestation. So as a priestess, you are a sorceress. You can conjure up your dreams into being, not in a masculine way necessarily, right? Which is all about plans, goals, action, achievement, conquering. We need that. We have too much of that in a way. So inviting and invoking the priestess is all about balancing that. So we still can have goals. We still have, we still take action, but we tune in first to our intuition, to our wisdom, and not what's the logical next step, but what is the next inspired, instinctual, intuitive next step. And I practice this in every part of my life, in my relationships, in my business. So I manifested my beloved Eric. And honestly, one of the reasons I'm doing this video right now for the High Priestess is because for my birthday, which just happened a few days ago, we are going to Egypt. Right? It's a beautiful gift from my beloved, and he wants to go as much as but I think I do a little more. And so to attract a man who wants to not only, with whom I flourish, but he honors my own priestesshood. And he's like, let's go to Egypt. I know how important it is to you, and I would love to see the pyramids. So I attracted Eric and my beloved husband through priestessing, through my own transformation. And that's why I help my fellow female clients also attract love from a feminine perspective, right? So when you connect with the priestess, one of the powers you reclaim is your power not only for your own inner healing and transformation, but also to then co-create your heart's desires. The other part of priestessing is to then become a healer. So the goddess Brigit is also a healer. Morgan le Fay is a shapeshifter, right? Diana is a fairy queen. Now we coming into Eastern Buddhist goddess Kuan Yin, not typically associated with the priestess archetype, but she has the healing waters of Amrita and the willow tree of peace, willow branch, and the lotus flower of transformation, spiritual transformation and transcendence, and gaining wisdom and remaining pure no matter what we go through in our lives, right? So Kuan Yin then is the archetype of the priestess as a healer. So if you feel really connected to the healing path, if you have gone through so much pain in your own life and you wonder sometimes, like I did, you know, what's the point? This is too hard. Why am I going through this? Why me? When you come through that with the more empowered questions of what is the higher purpose? What is my soul lesson? Why me in like a more empowered way? Why is this happening? Why could my soul have chosen these types of circumstances for my own growth and transformation? And what happens is that through our own transformation, we can become vessels of healing and miracles and compassion for others. Not because we heal them. So even though officially, you know, I say my title is a healer because I'm a Reiki master and I've had other training qualifications, I'm not actually the healer. As a priestess, I'm a vessel. You are a catalyst, a channel. So even in Reiki, for example, we say the intention of giving your intent to be a clear channel of pure healing Reiki energy for that person's best and highest good. So priestesses, we are vessels for eliciting the highest good for the other. We are mirrors. And how do we do this? It's through emptying. So cleansing, transforming, transmuting ourselves constantly, and at the same time staying very much on earth, staying grounded. Priestess tools, if you're attracted to crystals or herbs or you know, singing bells or malas, all these beautiful incense, you know, essential oils. These are all the tools of the priestess. And can you tell I'm really passionate about this? Oh my goodness. So Kuan Yin is, if you are more connecting with her archetype, it means you may have a purpose of being a healer and heal through your compassion, through coaching or healing. Now, there's Vesta. She is Greek and the Roman is Hestia. Vesta is Roman and Hestia is Greek, and basically, you know, they're the same goddess. The Romans appropriated a lot of the Greek deities, but Hestia, Vestia represent the Greek priestess, and she is, as you can see here, it's home. This is all about coming back home to the divine flame. So flames and fires were always lit in the center of the home in Vesta's honor, in the priestess's honor, but really this is about connecting with your own divine spark, right? So it's that beautiful divine spark. And then if you think of some of the words I said earlier about alchemy, transformation, transmutation, fire is the element of transformation, transmutation. So isn't it interesting, right, that the flame, the sacred fire, represents the priestess in the Greek tradition? Now, there were priestesses who worshipped and served different goddesses. So you could have been a priestess of Athena, Artemis, Demeter, Persephone, Hecate, Aphrodite. And yet, you know, each one of them represented something different. But generally, a priestess is also a woman who is whole and complete unto herself. So she does not require a man or family or a job or anything to define her. To validate her worth and value. Her worth and value and her wholeness comes from her deep connection to source within. That's why she's a sorceress. I'm very passionate about this stuff. The next archetype I would love to share with you is Shakti. So if we think of the Indian, Hindu traditions of the goddesses, those are such beautiful, powerful goddess archetypes, all kinds, Kali, Durga, Lakshmi, who's in the background there. Shakti, as you can see, she's ecstasy, divine union, chakra. So if you are attracted to sacred sensuality, sexuality, tantra, tantrikas, yoginis, these are the goddesses who know that the body is a sacred vessel and a temple of experiencing the divine through enjoying strawberries. So another little example, my priestessing is before my video, as I do with most of my videos, I have a piece of dark chocolate. And so I really just enjoy that. And for me, that is experiencing pleasure and passion and joy, so that it, radiates out to you in my videos. And I hope you can feel it because it's just oozing through me, right? So I might have a strawberry or raspberry, pomegranate, dark chocolate, something very luscious and pleasurable. I might even sometimes eat a rose petal, right? Just to feel the essence of the goddess. So if you are attracted to or feel connected to sacred sexual healing art, sensuality, empowering women, that is such a deep, tender, sensitive topic. I've had so much sexual abuse as a child. I remember 11 different men specifically who abused me in my childhood. This is when my parents took my sisters and I back to Pakistan when I was 7 to 11. So I was born in Canada, but I spent some years of my childhood there that were obviously very traumatic. And healing that again, reclaiming my body for myself. And there was also a lot of shame and guilt and sin associated from the Muslim tradition with sexuality and modesty and anything outside of the context of marriage, right? So much healing had to happen there. And I do help women heal from their sexual wounding, and I even have a video on healing your sexual wounding if that's something that you feel called to do for yourself. But my love, if you've gone through any kind of sexual wounding, and the sad thing is most of us women have been harassed sexually in some form, in some way. So that is an invitation back to us to reclaim our power and reclaim our bodies as holy, sacred, beautiful temples of the goddess, of the divine, and to only let someone who will honor and be in reverence and awe of and adore our sacred temples near us, right? And again, that with Eric, he ravishes me and my temple is very adored. So this is something that was definitely part of my own healing journey, and that I wish for every woman, because we all have that capacity to experience the divine, the goddess, unite with the divine, the God within our partners or the goddess, and to experience ecstasy. So as a priestess, in our love making, we unite with the divine ourselves and are vessels of that for our partners, so that our lovemaking is sacred and divine and ecstatic. So isn't it fun to be a priestess? Okay, let me see. Another way to experience a priestess, of course, is through your wisdom. So this is Sofia the Goddess, one of the goddess, archetypes and representations of wisdom. So Sofia represents wisdom that is birthed through silence, because Siege is the goddess of silence, and Sofia is one of her emanations, one of her creations, right? It's in the lineage, I believe she's like a great granddaughter, but the metaphor, the essence is that through our silence, we birth our wisdom, right? So even here, Sofia is pregnant with wisdom. So this is about womb wisdom, right? Reconnecting with your womb and finding what feels right in your body, not what your mind is trying to tell you to do when you're trying to make a decision. How does your body feel? So practically, let's give an example. If I had this happen recently where I was making a new friend, and I thought it was, and at first, it seemed like we were really compatible. She's also into, all this healing stuff and positive thinking and very entrepreneurial, and I thought we could really inspire each other. But then there were some signs that some things felt really out of integrity for me on her end, and they felt out of integrity, like something would just feel like a red flag or feel off. But then she would act very sweet and, like in a way where I thought, oh, you know what, maybe she didn't mean that, or maybe I misunderstood. And I just sort of kept rationalizing my way out of it, because I kept looking at the package like, no, but she posts all this kind of stuff, so she must mean it, right? And ultimately I learned, not the hard way necessarily, it wasn't like I was that invested, but I just learned that my instincts were true. And so now I've just, blessed and released and created some distance. We weren't really close. It was sort of a budding thing, but that's a situation where my mind was saying, oh, we're so compatible, this could be fun. And my heart, my instincts, my body always felt a little like something was off with certain behaviors and things that I noticed. So how often do we do that, right? Our body is feeling uneasy about saying yes to a job or going on a second date with a guy, right? Or anything, but we overwrite that with our minds. And so one of the ways we block our priestesshood, our intuition, is by rationalizing our way out of it. And one of the even worse ways we block it is when we ask everyone else for advice and listen to everyone else's opinion. Like, what do you think? What do you think I should do? As women, we love to ask each other for advice. But the truth is, the best advice, if you want it, is the one that actually confirms what you already know to be true inside of you. So what we really want is maybe some support, encouragement, reassurance for following our own instincts. And even as a coach, I always tell my clients, I can do a reading for you to give you insights, but I will never tell you what to do. My job is to give you tools to trust yourself, to find the guru, the priestess, the guide that's inside of you. So you learn to trust you, right? So it's about reconnecting with your own sacred feminine wisdom. Listen to your body, tune in, check in, and do what feels right to you, where there's an alignment of mind, body, soul, and heart, right? That is priestessing. Final goddess, she's right there, Isis, and as I said, we're going to Egypt. One of the ultimate high priestess is Isis. Okay, and you can actually see in this tarot deck, she represents the high priestess. Oh, Isis, I'm going to be doing a whole course about her, I'm sure, after my visit to Egypt. This month, we are doing my monthly online goddess circle dedicated to Isis and awakening your high priestess. If that's something you're interested in, I will definitely leave a link for you to join us, because Isis is the ultimate high priestess. She is connected to the moon, feminine wisdom, womb, beauty, love, sexuality, the divine, sorceress, karma, underworld, afterlife, mother, healer, taught women about midwifery and healing and beauty. So beautification is the art of the priestess, the gift of the priestess. Look at Gaia and the earth and how beautiful she is. This is priestessing, the flowers, right? Adorning ourselves. That's why I'm wearing some extra bling today in honor of the priestess. So Isis taught us women all these beautiful things: mantras, song, spell, sacred chant, sacred sound. She would have rattles that she would heal with, ritual. Oh, we can go so deep with Isis. So Isis is when you come into high priestesshood and you claim yourself as a high priestess and you own yourself as a woman. You own every part of yourself. You're still in surrender, right? You're still humble. You're still offering yourself to be of loving service, but you're a woman for the people without overgiving, without doing it to feel validated or important or special, but simply because you are a vessel and you are a leader. So Isis will help you to, if you feel called on the priestess path, to really become a leader, right? To claim it, to become, for example, in this modern day, maybe a professional priestess where you are a healer or an intuitive or a coach or guide in some way. And in my online circle that we're doing this month in May, which you can have access to anytime, I'll be delving deeper into what kind of priestessing you may be attracted to or called to. One thing Isis really helps us with is our karmic healing as priestesses, because unfortunately, those of us who have been on the priestess path as healers, midwives, wise women, seers, oracles, herbalists, right, magicians, witches, we were burnt. Witch was a term we need to reclaim, because it really was just a sorceress and a healer and a wise woman and a priestess, where we could work with herbs and nature and the moon and cycles and create healing and miracles. But unfortunately, because that threatened patriarchal, society and people with their own agendas, those structures, we were burnt as witches, as heretics. We were killed, we were tortured, our properties were taken from us, and so we've been so punished on our priestess path when we look at it from a karmic soul perspective. So many of us have come back now, especially in the West, where it is safe for us to reclaim our powers and our gifts. And yet, as it's been my own experience, we do need to sometimes do some karmic healing around this. So Isis is very helpful to invoke, to connect with, to do karmic healing, to release and heal and transform and transmute any vows we may have made, any negative conclusion that it's not safe for me to come out of the closet, it's not safe for me, or who am I to, or they'll come and get me, or fear of coming out as a spiritual person, or especially as a healer, or being filled with self-doubt. If you feel you're constantly blocked with being abundant as you serve with your gifts, if you have fears around that. So basically any blocks you may have, internal or external, around claiming your priestess path, Ices is really helpful in healing that. When I'm going to be in Egypt, I'm going to be doing a lot more healing work, and that's why my circle is set for May 25th of this year, 2017. It's also the new moon, so of course, connecting to the priestess. But I wanted to do it after I visited Egypt, so I will be filled with her potent love messages, energies, and I can channel them to you. So it'll be an extra potent session. If you feel called to do some healing work on your priestess path, we will be doing a karmic healing with the goddess Isis, if that's something you feel called to do with me. Otherwise, definitely work with her on your own, my loves, because you have access to her as much as I do, right? So I hope this has helped you. I am so passionate about this topic. So some invitations to you are to please watch some of my other videos where I do talk about the sacred feminine, the divine, exploring if you're highly sensitive. So this will just help you to understand more and more your own priestess path. If you want to join me and delve a little deeper, definitely join our very affordable online goddess circle. The replay will be available. It's like a mini, it's a course, except you also get a live channeled healing. We have a private Facebook group of beautiful, lovely, heart-centered priestesses that you can connect with and share your experiences with and get support from. It's a lovely, beautiful, sensitive, gentle, empowering community of soulful women. And come on over to my website, flourishinggoddess.com, where you get a meditation with the goddess Isis and 13 other goddesses to heal your chakras. Because when you open up your chakras, you awaken your priestess power in every way: earth, body, sensuality, abundance, intuition, wisdom, all of that good stuff, empowerment, expression. So that will be very helpful to you as well as a tool. So you get that when you sign up to become join our sisterhood. That's free, and you get that right away as an immediate download. And please leave me a comment. Let me know how this has served you, what priestess goddess maybe you connected to, you felt a connection with. Let me know your questions. I don't answer them on YouTube, but they always inspire me to make more videos so I can, continue to serve you, because really that's what priestessing is, right? It's serving from love and with the intention to uplift and empower and heal and bring the divine, into our physical experience, right? So I hope that this has ignited that spark within you and lit up that moonlight within you of remembering you are a priestess. You are a priest. If you're watching this video, you are a priestess, okay? So just know that, claim it, and follow your intuition as to your other next steps. Do you want to join my circle? Do you want to learn about tarot? Do you want to take some other class or training? Do you want to meditate more? Do you want to spend time in nature more? Let your intuition guide you as to your next step. And then what you want to do, my love, is follow it. Trust it and follow it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Trust it and follow it. And in doing so, you continue to build your intuition and walk the priestess path. This was so much fun. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. And I'm sending you all of my love. Namaste.